Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. June 3rd, 2024. Got something going with the camera. I hope it's going to record this, but thought I needed to take a video today about cow pies. We've been talking about whether what we're grazing is of the right quality for the animals that we have. And of course, I'm up here with the cow group, so I'll turn around here and show you. This is the cows, and it's a very, very, very thin slice. I don't know if you can see the polywire in there. It's only about 25 or 30 feet in. And I'd love to do it with the steer group, but I'm going to be moving them a distance tonight, so I'm not going to want to go back and get it then. But the reason I pulled the camera up is because this perfect pumpkin pie we have right there, that cow just laid that as I moved the fence and thought that is the perfect unmolested cow pie. We want it to look like that, like a pumpkin pie with a little divot in the middle. That may even be a little bit on the runny side. But over the last 2 or 3 days, let's see if I can find another one. There's one there. Over the last 2 or 3 days, we've been tightening them down on this piece, actually purposely trying to get them to eat more fiber. And there's one that's a whole lot runnier. They were just getting too much, and that's not a problem we have very often. You know, usually it's the other problem. We've got too much fiber and it's too lumpy. But early in the spring we get really thin, runny cow pies, and that's just a part and parcel of the early spring. And then by the time we get now, we ought to be able to get them about right. And that's what they tell us, that this is the best of harvest efficiency when we've got cow pies like that one I just showed you. That's when we're balancing their diet. That's what they say. I mean, I don't have any empirical research to back that up, but that's what they're telling us, what they tell us. So we've got these guys just about right as far as fiber and energy and diet, and actually I wouldn't even mind if they got a little clumpier, just because they're, like I said, they're about the calves, so I want to thicken them up as best I can. Like I said, I'd like to show you this with the steer group, but the steer group is going to move, and we're really watching it with the steers. We want them to be at perfect harvest efficiency. We don't care if they leave a little bit more stuff. I mean, this is what I want it to look like. Of course, this is right where the cows were laying when I came up here, but this is what I want this tall forage to look like when we're done. In fact, I want a little bit more with these cows, and with the steers, I don't care. As long as they nip off some of the seed heads and go through it, I'm cool with that. We can always go back through it with them. The plan is kind of to graze these fields with the cows, and by the time they're ready to re-graze again, we'll put the sheep and the steers on them, and we'll let the cows go clean up what the steers didn't get mashed down quite right. All with the goal of having it all mashed down by about, I mean, in a perfect world, we'd have it all mashed down on the 21st of June, but this isn't a perfect world, and we're not going to get there. So it's going to be July 15th, I hope. That's kind of where I want to be. July 15th, even August 15th maybe is the latest date we want to have it all mashed down. I don't always hit that. When we get closer to time, then I can start doing some things. The grass isn't as strong, and we can make smaller paddocks move more often, get more mashed down, and eat less, and get them right. And why do we want to do that? I want to get them all right by August 1st, because that's stockpile growth time. At that point is when I'm losing efficiency for stockpile growth. Here in another month or two, we're kind of hitting that summer slump anyway. We're not really missing a whole lot of growth, but by August, that's when we really hit that fall bump, and I want everything to be back in condition to be growing. I mean, quite honestly, we're missing forage growing days right now with the forage being this tall and over mature. If we wanted to be at peak harvest efficiency, we ought to go mow it all down and get it all back right and get it growing again. The problem with going and mowing it all down is then I'd have nothing left for the cows to graze. So it's a happy medium. It's the best balance. We talked today on the way home. You know, I drove by a place that rotationally grazes, but they mowed a bunch for hay, and they mowed a bunch of the pasture, and they do this every year. And every year then they kind of get themselves into trouble. They back themselves into a corner because now all of a sudden they got too happy with the mower and they got nowhere to graze. And they ended up turning around feeding hay right over the fence where they just baled it because they harvested too much. And that's what I always found. We tried that, especially on this field particularly. It's been 10 or 15 years ago, and we could never mow the right amount. We either mowed too much or we didn't mow enough. And if we didn't mow enough, then we had to deal with these tall seed heads anyway. If we mowed too much, then we had to wait until it grew back before we could graze cows. So I found this mob grazing system just a whole lot more efficient. We can go through and get this all knocked down, and we're putting carbon in the soil, and our organic matter is going up year by year. Yeah, we're losing a little bit in efficiency, but we're gaining that back in quality, and I think in the long run we're gaining it back in tonnage because of the extra organic matter we have in the soil. So that's what we're trying to do. But what we really want to see is nice cow pies. That one's a little bit too runny, but other than that, it's close. It's what we want to see. So this strip's about done. We'll move over to another strip tomorrow. You can see the water trough down there in the corner. They'll go right there and go into another strip and start over. I really need to calculate how much I'm giving them every day. I don't even know. I mean, this isn't indicative of what they're going to get for tonight. I'll probably come back out and move them right at dark, but if I had to guess, we're down about a third of an acre per 12 hours. So that's 3/4 of an acre in a 24-hour period. You know, we probably got, well, we do. We have 100 acres to go around, and at this point, we've got about 45 days to get there. There's no way we're going to get there with the equipment we have. So we're going to have to speed up here as time goes by, and we will. We'll speed up and go cover more ground faster and more efficiently as time goes by. So with that, I'll say we'll see you next time.